The following is a presentation of Flow Sports. The following is a presentation of Flow Sports.
From Arlington, Texas, it is Game 2 of our tripleheader of the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series. And what a matchup on deck. The top-ranked UCLA Bruins out of the Big Ten facing off against number 20 Tennessee out of the SEC. Two teams with national championship history and Omaha aspirations. Good afternoon and welcome to Globe Life Field alongside Ty Harrington. I'm Brain Freeman. So far today, Mississippi State with a win earlier against Arizona State. Coming up later tonight, Texas A&M against Virginia Tech. But right now we're focusing on the Vols and the Bruins. Two teams playing on the road for the first time this season.
Yes, they are, and also two teams that have national titles in their belts as well. But you're right, first time for them to leave home. But what a setting for these guys to land in, indoor playing in the big league park with this regional College World Series type feel to it.
Boy, two programs meeting for the first time since 1997, and batting first today, UCLA. The lineup for the Bruins for head coach John Savage, presented by Amegy Bank. Taking a look first at the top third of the order for UCLA. Dean West, Rock Chalowski, and Mulibai Lavu. Top third of the order for the Bruins. Middle third, Roman Martin, Peyton Brennan, and Aiden Aguayo. And the bottom third of the lineup for UCLA, Cashel Duggar, Will Gasparino, the Texas transfer, and Dominic Cadiz. On the mound today for Tennessee is Tegan Coons. And Coons is a big right-hander, 6'3", 189. And he's on the preseason pitcher of the year watch list coming into the season.
Electric. And I'm telling you, at fastball, is going to be upwards of 96 to 98. Tremendous slider and an additional changeup that he's added going into this season.
And got the win last week against Kent State in his last start, going 5 2/3, giving up just one hit against the Golden Flashes. Here is the volunteer defense. Tyler Myatt, Jay Abernathy, Reese Chapman of the outfield for the Vols. Around the horn for Tennessee, Henry Ford, Manny Marin on the left side of the infield defense. Chris Newstrom, Levi Clark on the right, and the catcher Stone Lawless for Tennessee here today. Two teams both 6-2 on the year. The Bruins suffering a midweek loss against San Diego State earlier in the week, and Tennessee a shocking series loss at home to Kent State last weekend in Knoxville. And into the batter's box here for UCLA is Dean West. The Bruins opening up the season, preseason #1 team of the country, still standing at the top of the top 25. The series win over UC San Diego opening weekend, and then a dominant sweep over TCU last week back home in LA. Beat the Horned Frogs 10-2, 5-1, and an 8-inning run rule, 15-5 against a very good Horned Frog pitching staff. And off we go from Arlington. A strike delivered by Tegan Coons. A stacked schedule for the Bruins this weekend, as it is for everybody here in Globe Life. They'll take on A&M tomorrow. Mississippi State, ranked 4th in the country, on Sunday. Found back as West falls behind, 0-2.
When you can see on TV somebody's fastball explode when it gets about halfway there, it starts to talk about not only the velo, but the action to it. You watch this Coons' fastball, it just explodes at the end like that.
At 97, West goes down looking. A strikeout start today for Tegan Coons.
Right on cue, this thing just absolutely explodes. Moving a little bit of left to right, but I mean just some kind of force and spin rate behind it.
1 up, 1 down for Coons. Brings up Rock Chalowski, the National Player of the Year a year ago. Helping lead this team to Omaha. And ahead here in the count against Coons, 1 ball to no strikes. This ball is popped up into foul territory. Ford from third. Enough room to make the catch. able to retire Chalowski. That's a big out for Coons and 2 down.
Well, every out is big, but when you start talking about a player of the year guy that anytime you can get him out on a pop fly in foul territory, you got to certainly take advantage of it. And Ford did a great job, Brandon, getting over to the fence, finding it in a ballpark he's not always familiar with, and able to find the fence and make the catch look easy.
Nobody on, 2 down. Mulibai Lavu batting now for UCLA. Heavy pull side shift against him as he comes up empty of the fastball, 0-1.
They're inviting him to drag bunt, which they'd love for him to do, because then it would only, if he was able to do it, it would only be a single. This guy's got some power and some thunder in his bat as well, so he's going to have to hit through a shift if he goes to pull side on the ground or on the line.
A tremendous run producer a year ago. Lavu drove in 85. That was second in the country, 5th most in the decorated history of UCLA baseball. Was named a 3rd-team All-American. Pops it up here. And no play for Ford this time.
Well, the interesting part for a pitcher with the shift like they've got it, and they've got the, a shortstop in a shortstop position right now. But as a pitcher, if it's a pop fly towards third base, that is you. If the catcher can't get there, it's going to be you're the closest one that has to go catch it.
1-2, a swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Coons. West, Chalowski, Lavu done in order. Ball's coming to bat after this on FloCollege.
The Whataburger Monterey Melt is back? You've got some nerve showing up here again, looking all delicious with your fresh all-beef patties, melty cheeses, grilled peppers and onions, and jalapeno ranch. When I want you, you're nowhere to be found. And now you're back? Aw, get in here. We just missed you, that's all. The Whataburger Monterey Melt is back and harder to resist than ever. Download the app. What a burger!
Bowman Engineering and Consulting and their dedicated Amegy business banker worked together to put the us in business banking, which included the occasional lunch meeting. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing. With comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, planning sessions whenever you need them. Here, we collaborate. Here, you grow.
At Globe Life, we have policies for almost everybody.
Welders?
Yes.
Farmers?
Yes.
Rodeo clowns?
No, we don't cover rodeo clowns.
Construction workers?
Yes.
Electricians?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Not rodeo clowns.
Factory workers?
Yes.
Chefs?
Yes.
Birthday clowns?
Yes.
Ah, come on!
Globe Life Insurance. Affordable coverage for almost everyone.
And welcome back to Globe Life Field. Now the Volunteers lineup presented by Amegy Bank. Abernathy, Ford, Clark will all bat here in the first inning for Tennessee. Chapman, Brown, Myatt, middle third of the order for Vols head coach Josh Elander. And then the bottom third is Lawless, Marin, and Newstrom for Tennessee. And they're facing Logan Redeman, the UCLA hurler, who last week against TCU was absolutely lights out. 5 innings against the Horned Frogs, struck out 10, only allowed a single run in a victory at home in LA. Redmond, 6'2", 200-pound right-hander from Palmdale, California. A year ago, or so far this a year ago, I should say, yes, he was at San Diego. First team all-conference pitcher for the Toreros program. As 1-1 is off the plate, 2 balls and a strike. Put up massive numbers last year in San Diego. 2.29 ERA. 55 innings, struck out 53, only walked a dozen.
It's the kind of ratio you'd love to have. Those fewer walks and that kind of command. this kind of stuff. It's a late slider cutter at 87 miles an hour. Fastball's up to 94 so far, with tremendous life to it as well.
And facing Abernathy here, leading off the volunteer first. And the 2-2. Fights off another one. Abernathy homered last week against Kent State. Two-two pitch, and that's a foul ball. And Abernathy hanging in there, the at-bat against Redmond.
Well, he's seen all of them already in his first at-bat. He's seen a fastball, he's seen a cutter, he's seen a slider, and he's seen his changeup. So your first at-bat, you're getting to at least see all the weapons live.
Swing and a miss. Got him at a fastball at 95. Wipes away Abernathy on the first out here in the first inning.
And what's interesting about this, the first two fastballs are 92, 93. And he gets to an even count with him, and he goes away. And he reaches back in there and grabs about 2 or 3 more mile an hour to up to 95 to 96 on that last fastball.
Nobody on, one away for Ford. Shoots the first pitch foul. In his first year in Knoxville, transferred to the program from Virginia. Looks at ball one.
Modern day college athletics, and you and I've seen it the last weekend, and I had a chance to see it the weekend before. So you see that ball fouled off to the right. Is there's probably 4 or 5 players involved in each of the tournaments that played at one of the teams that are in the tournament that they might play against, or at least is here at the tournament. And that's just the way it is nowadays, as far as the portal and the transfer rules is set up now.
Preseason first team All-SEC, preseason All-American. Player in the conversation for one of the top hitters in the country. Caddyman's here, 2-2, able to lay off the fastball at 96.
It looked like that fastball climbed back into the plate. It might have been up. Horizontal break on some of these guys' fastball and the explosion and the vertical to it staying in, hot, staying in plane. These fastball not only got the velo behind them, but they've got a lot of late heavy action to them.
One thing's for sure, 2 batters into this inning, and it's evident Tennessee's going to make Redmond work today.
Yeah.
It was an 8-pitch at-bat to Abernathy. And Ford will have seen quite a bit here from Redmond himself.
As an offensive team, you want to find a way to make the pitcher that you're facing at least get 15 an inning. That way you can run him out by the 5th or 6th. And they're way past that, and they just have 1 out so far right now with the 2 at-bats they've had. A lot of foul balls.
Ford lays off as he got a slider. Goes the count 3-2. Redmond's full count pitch on the ground is short. Chalowski. And there's 2 down. Chalowski just made that play at short for the Bruins. A look at UCLA's defense here this afternoon. West, Gasparino, Brennan, the outfield for UCLA. Martin Chalowski on the left side of the Bruins defense. Aguayo, LeVou on the right, and Cashel Duggar is the catcher today for Redmond. He's gone 2 up and 2 down, and now facing Levi Clark. And Clark takes a strike. And there's quite the shift on here against Clark. 3 infielders on his pull side. As this ball is belted out to center field, Gasparino on the warning track makes a catch. Clark gives it a ride. Not deep enough. Redmond threw the balls in order in the first. We go to the second. No score between UCLA and Tennessee.
The appetite for destruction returns. Guns N' Roses. World Tour 2026. One night. Globe Life Field, September 9th. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com.
We've seen touchdowns, and we've seen home runs, but Arlington has never seen speed like this. A stampede of drivers who fear nothing and no one. Crowds that match the volume of 700 horsepower. A spectacle built between 2 of the most iconic stadiums on earth.
How cool.
This ain't our first rodeo, but it might be our fastest.
At Shriners Children's, we're home to the world's leading pediatric orthopedic care. Because so many life-changing advancements start here. We provide access to the best doctors and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. We're the first place to turn for the most common or complex orthopedic conditions. Home to possibility and empowering kids to achieve the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
And welcome back to Globe Life Field. No scores to go to the top of the second. Brain Freeman alongside Ty Harrington. We're now joined by UCLA head coach John Savage. In his 22nd season as coach, we just saw Logan Redmond in the first inning, and you described to us that he's got the stuff to be a first-day pick. What did you see from him in that first inning?
A lot of competitiveness. They had some really good they battled a lot of pitches. Ford was impressive. Abernathy was impressive. Clark hitting that fastball up he had to earn everything he got. So he made some pitches, and they battled him, and he was battle tested that first inning for sure.
Coach, you guys are off to a great start, and being tabbed #1 in the country always adds a little bit of a bullseye. Not that you guys wouldn't have it anyway, being the successful program you guys have been. But tell us about the first part of this season and how you feel like your team has performed.
Well, we really wanted to be tested, we brought in a very good UC San Diego team that's going to be battling for the Big West Championship, and we brought a Tulane team in that's very good, and then, of course, we brought in, TCU, who's a top 10 team. So, and then we got beat by San Diego State on Tuesday. So, of course, we have here. So we really wanted to see where we're at, see if we can, withstand some things. And this is a good road trip for us before we head to Ohio State next week.
Coach, again, this is year 22 for you and year 2 in the Big Ten. 2 decades in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
What's life like in this new conference now?
Hey, it's a great league. It's a great leadership. I think it's an upward trend league for baseball, for sure. Clearly basketball and football and a lot of the women's sports are just fantastic. There's so many good sports in that league, and baseball's getting better. With the addition of Oregon, and USC's off to a really good start. Washington, then you got the Penn States, you got the Indianas, you got the Iowas, Nebraskas. There's a lot of really good teams. So I'm looking forward to the future of that league, and I just think it's going to get better and better as we go along here.
Coach, thank you so much, and good luck the rest of the game.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it, guys.
John Savage again, UCLA head coach, as we just saw Coons strike out Brennan. Coons has gone 5 up, 5 down with 3 strikeouts so far for Tennessee.
Well, we got overlooked a little bit during that discussion, and look, I always enjoyed visiting with Coach Savage, and he's truly one of the great baseball minds of our time. But the play by Marin on the leadoff hitter was, I mean, he made, on Martin was just a, nice ho-hum backhand. Let me just, zing it out across the field to get the out, but it was an impressive defensive play.
Nobody on, 2 out for Aiden Aguayo. And Aguayo, the ground ball to the third baseman Ford. A long throw to first and a great dig. Oh, by Clark, but they're going to say it came off the bag. Volunteers look right into the dugout. They're asking Coach Elander to challenge this, and we'll see.
Well, and they are. They got the, universal sign of both ears, hands on the ears. I mean, well, let's get to this first. He's out by timing, but safe by off the bag. The hard part for all of us at this point is to see if his foot came completely off the bag. The slow motion, and our crew does as good a job as anybody going to be able to find. The hard part is that having a camera that's set up that's straight down that line that shows that separation of the foot. The guy that probably, outside of the first base umpire, the only other person who knows for sure or has a better look at it is the home plate umpire. The home plate umpire goes straight up the line. He's taught by mechanics to see if there is a separation of the foot and the bag. It's hard. It's just hard to tell. It was a great pick. There's another good look at it. I mean, I'm looking at the big screen here in the ballpark as well.
Now, the angles we've shown you so far, I'm with you, Ty. To me, it's not definitive. And you have to remember the call on the field was that his foot did come off. To me, it's just so close to tell, but there's not enough evidence to say definitively his foot stayed on. I just don't know how they overturned this.
I don't either. And if you look at the first base umpire's positioning is perfect. That's where he's supposed to be. That's where he is taught to be. And so he was staring right at it. It would be the front of the foot. The toe area would have been the piece that would have been the last one to come off the bag. And that was where he is closest to that first base umpire. He's the closest one looking at that.
Mark Hutchinson who made that call at first. Big 12 crew here today. Casey Mosier is our plate umpire.
I just think it's too. I think it's too hard to overturn. I don't think there's enough there from our angle to be able to see it.
Call stands. That might be the best look we get at it. Still just don't know. It is scored as an infield base hit, by the way. So Aguayo was on to extend the inning to bring up Cashel Duggar.
If it's scored as an infield hit, that's one of those plays that the pitcher's going, what, a hit? And the shortstop's going, whew, wow, there we go. I'm a third baseman. Whew.
Ball of those strikes to Duggar. Sure, a player that grew up around a lot of baseball. His dad, Keith, is the head athletic trainer for the Colorado Rockies.
He probably had his first pair of professional batting gloves when he was like 4, 3 years old, from who knows who, what big leaguer, right?
Fouled back by Duggar. It's a ball and a strike. Has gone hitless over his last 3 games. One and one from Coons. Takes a breaking ball in tight. It's 2-1.
this pitch. I think a lot of people thought it was a strike. Well, depends if you're calling strikes or not. For a lot of strike calling umpires, they're calling that. For guys who have a tighter zone or not, or I mean, look, it's one pitch out of 300 and something he's going to see today. But again, usually in the collegiate side of it, you get to that edge of that plate like that, they're going to call strikes. It's also part of, Brant, the reason why the power numbers are up in college baseball. We got older hitters. We have more physical hitters than we've ever had. We've got guys that used to have already been drafted and gone on into professional baseball. They're still here. And then the last piece is the umpires being graded by TrackMan. That ball's blasted out to left center.
And the gap, and it's going to get down for a base hit. Tugger comes through. Around third is Aguayo to the plate, and it's 1-0 UCLA.
Tremendous 2-out at bat. A runner at first base. Duggar goes with this, doesn't try to pull this ball, stays out away from him. He believes in his opposite field power. He stripes this ball in the left center field, and Abernathy, who can really cover ground now, almost is able to catch up with it, but it also talks about just how hard that ball was hit.
Back-to-back 2-out hits for the Bruins. Has them on top 1-0, and now Will Gasparino for UCLA, and takes a strike here from Coons. First who transferred from Texas. Grounded foul, and the count 0-2 to Gasparino.
I've seen this young man take a lot of at-bats. He was at Texas calling games in Austin and in San Marcos and all around, and a very gifted athlete. And you look at that frame at 6'4", and what that's grown to be and what it's going to continue to grow to be. And he does. He's got some buggy whip in that barrel.
A swing and a miss on the slider. Fourth strikeout for Coons, but UCLA is on top. Cashel Duggar with a 2-out RBI double, bringing in Aiden Aguayo. And the Bruins have staked the early lead over Tennessee. You're watching the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series on FloCollege. Bottom of the second coming up.
Every shot starts with belief. Something extraordinary can happen. Shriners Children's provides hope, healing, and the chance to dream big. They never allow the ability to pay to compromise the care children receive. Shriners Children's empowers the extraordinary, and you can too. Join me in supporting this life-changing cause and help provide the most amazing care anywhere.
The biggest weekend in rodeo is coming to Arlington, Texas. The American Rodeo Championship Weekend returns May 22nd and 23rd at Globe Life Field, with special live performances from two-time Grammy-nominated Midland on Friday and country superstar Chris Young on Saturday. This is rodeo at its finest, and the only place to experience it is Globe Life Field. Don't wait. Tickets are on sale now at AmericanRodeo.com.
Winter, the only season you can't see a go-ahead home run. Can't witness a filthy strikeout.
Holy moly!
Can't even experience a walk-off.
That ball is history!
And you're reminded there really are only two seasons, winter and baseball.
How about that?
So how do you win your winter? You get ready for baseball. Single game tickets now on sale, all for Texas.
Taking a look at the season so far for the Volunteers. This again the first year for head coach Josh Elander since taking over for Tony Vitello, now the manager of the San Francisco Giants. And you look at what the Vols have done so far this year. Opened the season with a sweep over Nichols and a midweek win over UNC Asheville, but then a series loss at home to Kent State this past weekend in Knoxville. Bounced back with a midweek win over Bellarmine, out to a 6-2 start, and coming to this tournament ranked 20th in the country. One of 3 SEC teams here in Arlington this weekend. Maurice Chapman leads off. The Vols second, a swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
And when we were talking to Coach Elander, part of it, with it being new and the transition happening in the middle of the fall with Tony, was that the message hasn't changed. The voice has changed a little bit, but the message is still there. I mean, still in that dugout and in the walls of that program. And you know, look, it's not easy when you take over in that scenario either. You know, and then all of a sudden you go from assistant coach to elevated to head coach and major decision makers. We see a ground ball over the shortstop, but he's a tremendous baseball mind, and you got it when you were listening to him in the interviews. You hear those voices of experience of working for Coach Vitello, Coach Anderson. You know, having been on Jim Slash Nichols and played for them at TC, so all those things come into his message as well. That's great experience and great background.
4 up, 4 down so far for Logan Redeman, and now Blaine Brown at the plate for Tennessee. Bruins got a 2-out RBI double at the top of the inning to take this 1-0 lead. As Brown swings and misses at the fastball there from Redeman.
Easier said than done what I'm about to say. That's a pitch they have got to try to eliminate. They're going to have a hard time catching up with that fastball up there. That's going to be a challenge for them. It's got enough explosiveness and spin to it that it's hard to get to the middle of that baseball, Brent, when it's at the catcher's mask area. Elevated is right under that mask area, right in your chest area, but that one just above it, it's hard for them to get that barrel to in time.
0-2, and Brown grounds one through the shift into right center for a base hit. And the Volunteers have their first base runner of the game. It is a first-year transfer from Rice, Blaine Brown.
They made just a little bit of a pitching mistake. They were trying to go up out of the zone. He wasn't able to get it up there, and that's that one that's elevated but not elevated above their hands that he was able to get the barrel to. He was trying to go just a little bit higher than that.
Tyler Myatt up at the plate now. A swing and a miss, strike one. Myatt had the walk-off homer against Kent State last week at the Vols' win of the Golden Flashes. Traveled 434 feet over the batter's eye back in Knoxville. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Was an National JUCO Player of the Year last year at Walters State Community College.
Well, that was a much needed walk-off home run.
Pinch hit too. His second home run as a Volunteer. His first hit at Tennessee. Pinch hit homer opening day against Nichols. 1-2 from Redeman. A swing and a miss. Got him on the changeup. That's his second strikeout. And 2 down to the Tennessee second.
Well, you see 93 to 95 of that lively fastball, and then he comes back with a full-handed changeup. He does such a good job of attacking that changeup. It's hard for those hitters to pick up anything because there's no broken spin. It's just tough on them visually.
2 out. Stone Lawless comes up now for the Vols. Blaine Brown over at first base. And Redeman misses on his first pitch. Talked about the home run hit by Myatt Of course, the home run ball has fueled this volunteer offense in recent seasons. A couple of years ago, national championship year, Tennessee hit 184, a program record. 131 last season. It's been 4 straight years Tennessee has hit over 100 home runs. And the 184 they hit a couple of years ago, 4 shy of tying the all-time Division I record in a single year.
That's insane. Set
by the 97 LSU Tigers.
That is so impressive. Was it 310, 311 in the last 2 years? Is that right?
Your math is...
That's guesstimating.
It's pretty close.
Yeah. I'm good at being pretty close, not always accurate.
315.
As I mentioned, I was close.
Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts by Redeman. Gave up the single to Brown, came back and punched out Myatt and Lawless. 1-0 Bruins heading into the third.
There's a big deal going on at Whataburger. Like the new Big Ranch Wrap, a crispy chicken strip, buttermilk ranch, cheese, and fresh veggies in a warm tortilla. Or go bigger with 5 premium Whata chicken bites. Or go bigger than big with our Bacon Cheese Whataburger Jr. with fresh 100% beef and melty cheese. Make it even bigger with fries and a drink for a little more. Now that's a big deal. The Whata deal, now at Whataburger. Download the app.
Naylor Industries and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, focusing on their business needs with lightning speed. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry. Because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, a banking partner who is just as invested in your growth as you are. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Forrest Frank, the Jesus Generation Tour. Live in a 360 in the round experience. With special guests Tori Kelly, Corey Asbury, plus the Figs. On sale now at forrestfrank.com. Don't miss the Jesus Generation Tour with Forrest Frank. Jesus is coming back. Produced by TPR.
And we're back in Arlington. Vol Nation has showed out here at Globe Life Field as we get ready for the third inning. UCLA on top of Tennessee, 1-0. We're joined now by Vols head coach Josh Elander, first season as a head coach, but of course a long time on the staff, taking over for Tony Vitello. Coach, you told us that Tegan Kuhns has premier stuff. When we talked to you earlier in the week, he's given you 2 innings so far. Have you seen that premier stuff from him?
Yeah, I think it's been great. I mean, slider seems to be rocking and rolling today, and one here, the catcher puts a good swing on to the left, but attacking the strike zone, we'll take it, and liking what we're seeing so far.
Coach, being back in the DFW area, you got to love, you're very familiar with it, and as on the camera, I can see a little bit of a smile right there being back home, but how does it feel to be back in the DFW and in the state of Texas?
Yeah, it's just a great ballpark here, and got some great memories here. I love coming to this tournament here in 24, and it turned out to be a pretty good year for us, right? But just a great event, a great competition, and like a great pitch from Tegan Kuhns right there, too. But we just need some competition with this young group, and we're going to get it all weekend here.
Coach, as we mentioned, that the torch has been passed from Coach Vitello to yourself. What did it mean for you to take over as head coach of this program, one that's only 2 years removed from a national title?
Yeah, I was really grateful at the beginning, right? But now it's kind of turned the page to a sense of urgency, right? We got some work to do with this group, and very talented. But again, like I said, we need to play as much ball as we can. So again, these guys have been good out of the gate, and this will be a good test for the rest of these 9 innings.
Well, Coach Elander, thank you so much, and good luck the rest of the game.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, Vols head coach Josh Elander. We asked about that premier stuff from Kuhns and came back with a breaking ball and 2 strikes to punch out Cadiz.
He had a little bit of a grin being back in the great state of Texas, but he had a bigger grin when he got the strikeout.
And that's now 5 of the game for Kuhns, seeing the top of the order for a second time through. And well, you mentioned top of the order. This is arguably the best 1-2-3 part of anybody's order in the country. West, Chalowski, and LeVou. And Kuhns got through them in order in the first. 1 ball, 1 strike, and West takes the breaking ball. It's 2-1. Tegan Coons has first-round stuff when talking to Coach Elander. Fastball in the upper 90s, effective breaking ball. This pitch is headed towards left and drifting foul. And that leave with the count 2-2.
Some of this staff is still, Frank Anderson, who was a pitching coach, still had an influence on a lot of these guys. And what I mean by that, Frank was always grab the baseball, get on the mound, let's set the tone. And you can still see it here with Coons, too, with the pace of the game.
Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Coons. West down on strikes for a second time.
There's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, but it's the late life of this fastball that just makes it so hard on these hitters. I mean, it's just like a rocket. Hits a 4th gear right as it gets into the hitting area.
It's a great rotation for Tennessee. Staff ERA 2.74, 14th lowest in the country as Chalowski comes up and fouls off the first pitch. Tomorrow against Arizona State, the Vols will throw Landon Mack, and Coach Elander saying it really reminds him of Chase Dolander and how dominant he was in Knoxville. And on Sunday against Virginia Tech, Evan Blanco will pitch for Tennessee. 3rd straight week the ball is going with that rotation. That's grounded to third and fair. Chalowski with a 2-out base hit on his way to second. And the Bruins have their second 2-out double of the day.
2-out hits are so critical, particularly when you got a guy like this who can put himself in the scoring position with one swing. He gets a changeup, gets sped up, gets the barrel out in front of it, and is able to pull it down the line. But he is such a danger when he puts those spikes inside the white lines of that batter's box.
Well, the topic of plays you're reminded of, John Savage, UCLA head coach, saying that Chalowski reminds him a lot of Brandon Crawford. And many believe he could be the top overall pick in the upcoming draft. LaVue takes a strike on the breaking ball, 0-1. When we talked to John Savage early in the game time, we asked him about this is now year 2 in the Big Ten. It still sounds weird to say out loud for UCLA, but it's true. And we talked to him early in the week about it. He said initially he wasn't a fan of the move, as that ball is belted deep to right field, and that is gone. 2-out, 2-run bomb. Bully by LaVue. 3-0 UCLA.
Brandon, you had just talked about how challenging it is to get through the top of this order, and they arrive at it with 2 outs, with the leadoff hitter becoming the second out, and then Chalowski comes up with a double, and this is the 4-seamer in the middle, and he knew he got it. That is line drive type home run that got out of here in a hurry.
The Bruins 17 homers in their first 8 games of the year, 8th most in the nation, and their first this weekend in Arlington. All 3 runs of the game coming with 2 outs as Martin steps in and takes a strike. Coons struck out Cadiz and West, and then a double and a home run. 2 runs later, 3-zip Bruins. Coons now ahead of Martin, 0-2.
The 4-seamer started like it was going to stay on the inner half of the plate and ran back into the middle. LaVue absolutely landed on it.
That ball's hit pretty well. Left center field. Abernathy going back, and the park will hold this one. UCLA more 2-out offense. Bully by LaVue with a 2-run bomb. And the Bruins on top of the Vols, 3-0. You're watching the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series on FloCollege. Volunteers looking to respond when we come back.
There's a big deal going on at Whataburger, like the new Big Ranch Wrap, a crispy chicken strip, buttermilk ranch, cheese, and fresh veggies in a warm tortilla. Or go bigger with 5 premium Whata chicken bites. Or go bigger than big with our Bacon Cheese Whataburger Jr. with fresh 100% beef and melty cheese. Make it even bigger with fries and a drink for a little more. Now that's a big deal. The Whata deal, now at What a Burger. Download the app.
Naylor Industries and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, focusing on their business needs with lightning speed. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry. Because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, a banking partner who is just as invested in your growth as you are. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Forrest Frank, the Jesus Generation Tour. Live in a 360 in the round experience. With special guests Tori Kelly, Corey Asbury, plus the Figs. On sale now at forestfree.com. Don't miss the Jesus Generation Tour with Forrest Frank.
Jesus is coming now.
Produced by TPR.
Game 2 of the day between UCLA and Tennessee. Earlier today, Mississippi State 8-4 winners over Arizona State. And still to come, Texas A&M and Virginia Tech as we go to the bottom of the third. 3-0 UCLA. Mulibai Lavu, a homer for the Bruins with 2 outs, driving in 2 runs. And now Logan Redeman, a 3-run lead on the mound for the Bruins. Leadoff man Manny Marin fouls off that fastball. It's 1-1. You know what John Savage told us is that, look, my lineup 1 through 9 is so good. It is tough for other pitchers to navigate through this complex lineup, as he called it. This is popped up into foul territory, and it's handled by Lavu for the first out. And he's right, Todd. There's not many holes in that lineup for UCLA.
No, I mean, and it's not heavy one-sided, right? I mean, it's just very athletic. They've got the numbers to back it up, but they also had the number of at-bats to back it up as well. And you've got experience at-bats guys that have seen a lot of pitching, whether it's during the regular season or even during their summer at the Cape or wherever they may be. I mean, it's an experienced, explosive, athletic lineup.
Newstrom smacks a base hit up the middle. Attack the first pitch from Redeman, and he's on with 1 out in the third. And the top of the order coming up now for Tennessee.
Newstrom gets a ball in the middle of the plate, does a good job setting his hands inside this ball, Brant, and driving it right back through the middle.
Brings up Abernathy. Didn't start Theo in the leadoff spot, where Coach Elander has since moved there. Struck out against Redeman in his first at-bat. And that pitch is shot foul. Counts 0-1. Well, we mentioned that, Pac-12 to Big Ten move for UCLA, and initially John Savage wasn't a huge fan of it, but he felt a lot better when the other West Coast teams joined him. Rival USC, Washington, and Oregon. And now it's become a very deep conference. We saw some of the Big Ten here last week as well.
I would love to have asked him in his wildest dreams, and it's a legit question. When you took over at UCLA, if somebody would have come to you halfway through your career and said, "Hey, we're going to put you guys in the Big Ten," I mean, it wouldn't have equated. Now, modern day athletics, it does now, but then it wouldn't have. And you got to look at, the travel, and you got to be able to get used to it and what that looks like from going West Coast to Middle America. But again, maybe it's just me, but I feel like there's more people that never in our wildest dreams would have thought that. But it is, and the conference is a really solid and good baseball conference.
Michigan, Nebraska were here last week for the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series. What's funny though, the teams in the preseason Big Ten poll picked first, second, and third. UCLA, Oregon, USC. 3-1. And a check swing, foul by Abernathy, 3-2.
Well, it definitely increased their footprint across the country, right? Adding those 3 teams, but not that unusual. Because, West Coast baseball has been good for so long. I mean, so many great baseball players in the state of California, Arizona, out in the West Coast, and it's a tremendous addition, not just to baseball, but all the sports.
Swing and a miss, blew the fastball right by him as Redmond strikes out Abernathy for a second time.
Get a look at this. He just reaches back into his tank, and just refuels a 95, 96 mile an hour four-seamer.
2 down of the inning. Henry Ford to the plate now for the Vols. One of the hardest working players on this Tennessee team. Looks at her first pitch, strike here from Redmond. Well, how about UCLA? In their final year in the Pac-12, the Bruins didn't even qualify for the conference tournament. They were 19-33 in 2024. 14 games under 500. Swing and a miss, strike 2. The next year, a 29-win improvement made it to Omaha.
Yeah, and a lot of freshmen on that team. And if you think recruiting-wise how risky that is, knowing the way the portal is and, people going here and going there. But Coach Savage able to keep that bunch together. Now you're seeing the result of it.
Off the glove of Redmond. Recovers, fires, low but in time to LeFou. Newstrom with a 1-out base hit, but Redmond able to work around Abernathy and Ford. We go to the 4th. 3-0. Bruins on top.
Woodcraft and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, creating a long-lasting relationship with open and quick communication. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry. Because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll work to help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, the support you need to reach your business goals faster. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Every at-bat.
That one is gone!
Every pitch.
Got him swinging!
Every angle.
He will score, and the Rangers are in front!
From pregame to postgame. From the truck to the booth.
I hope you're fired up at home, sitting on the couch, watching your favorite baseball team.
It all starts here. Rangers Sports Network, the official home of Rangers Baseball.
The Rangers Foundation is really proud to support our community where they need us and when they need us. Crowds are bigger each year, and we're able to bring our donors in, and with the silent and live auction, we've raised almost $9 million to give back to our community.
Every year I come and support our organization. That's what we do best, helping the community.
Two years ago, Tennessee stood alone as national champions, the first national title in program history. Won a classic College World Series final. There's head coach Tony Vitello again now, the manager for the San Francisco Giants. Tennessee faced SEC rival Texas A&M in the finals in Omaha. The Aggies won the first game. Tennessee battled back to win game 2 to force a winner-take-all, as you see Vitello now in a different shade of orange in the Bay Area. Tennessee then won the title game, beating A&M 6-5 in Jim Schlossnagel's final game as Aggies head coach. And Tennessee winning the national championship, capping off a 60-win season in 2024.
In the coaching industry, Tony Vitello is known as one of the hardest workers in the baseball industry. And I mean, you would talk to other coaches, and when he was an assistant, it was just nonstop work. As a head coach, same way. And end result for his dedication, his commitment, was a national champion for University of Tennessee. And it doesn't come easy. And man, he has put in the time.
That ball hit well, left field, deep and gone. Peyton Brennan and Oppo Taco and another Bruin bomb. 4-0 UCLA.
If you want to know what raw power can look like, hitting a ball the other way and emptying your tank all the way opposite field and being able to drive a ball out of the park is one of the hardest things in baseball to do. He gets a four-seamer away, doesn't try to pull it, stays with his approach, and then drives this ball out of the ballpark to left field.
Into the second deck. Twice the Bruins have taken Coons deep. Second time through the order has proven tough for Coons. That's in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to count to Aiden Aguayo.
More times than not, home runs are pull side or pull side gap homers. Opposite field homers are the toughest. It's not as easy as he made it look with that swing.
Second homer of the year for Brennan. Aguayo ahead now 3-1.
See second baseman Newstrom coming in just to maybe buy him a little time, let him get his refocus. There's a difference between hurrying and having an aggressive pace.
That ball ripped to left, and it is just foul. I mean, every time a ball heads that way, you think it's got a chance because there's just no real estate and foul ground into the corners.
Yeah, there may be 4 or 5 feet between the line and the walls. You can see in your screen there. And from our vantage point, we're up on the 4th floor, and it's hard. We can't see the line in left field because of the wall. And so oftentimes, if it stays inside that wall, we as announcers think it's got a really good chance of being a fair ball.
Full count to Aguayo. And a swing and a miss on the slider. 7 strikeouts now for Coons, and the first out here in the 4th.
Just wouldn't think with that many strikeouts that they would have that many runs scored already as well.
So far, 4 hits in the day for the Bruins. They've only left 1 runner on base. Coons has not walked any batters either. Cashel Duggar doubled in the Bruins' first run with a 2-out base hit in the second. Count even 1-1.
And it's been a mixture of opposite field doubles and homers and poolside doubles and homers.
Fouled away. It's 2-2 to Duggar. In terms of the pitch count for Coons, over 50 in the game now. Nobody tossing in the Volunteers bullpen. But the closer he gets to the lineup a third time around, the more you feel as if that bullpen's going to get busy. That ball is hit sharply to the right side, but right to Levi Clark. On a knee, makes the catch. Route number 2.
This is not an easy play. It's a sinking liner to Clark at first base. Get a look at the bat boy, but the line drive to him, and he's got to kind of go down to a knee and turn his fingers down to catch his ball. It's not as easy when that ball's zipped at 100 miles an hour right at you.
Nobody on, 2 away for Gasparino. First pitch smacks that foul. He had such high expectations when he went to University of Texas as a freshman. Hit 252 in that first year at Texas. The power was there. Hit 12 homers and drove in 47. 13 homers a year ago, drove in 49. Average though sat at 242. It felt like time. I know you watched him a lot. You've seen a lot of his at-bats. It felt like feast or famine with Gasparino.
I mean, there were times. I mean, look, he's got tremendous power and can really run. And yeah, I mean, it's just growing. I mean, that's part of growing as a hitter. Along the way, making some of the most unbelievable catches in center field.
Very athletic center fielder for the Bruins. Here he strikes out and does so for the second time today. 8 punch shots for Coons, but UCLA takes him yard again. Peyton Brennan, a leadoff bomb of the 4th. And UCLA's lead at 4 over Tennessee. 4-0 Bruins over the Vols here in Arlington.
Possible Missions and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking by sharing the same values both in the office and out in the community. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry. Because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, by being a true community partner. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
There's a big deal going on at Whataburger, like the new Big Ranch Wrap, a crispy chicken strip, buttermilk ranch, cheese, and fresh veggies in a warm tortilla. Or go bigger with 5 premium Whata chicken bites. Or go bigger than big with our Bacon Cheese Whataburger Jr. with fresh 100% beef and melty cheese. Make it even bigger with fries and a drink for a little more. Now that's a big deal. The Whata Deal, now at What a Burger. Download the app.
Every shot starts with belief. Something extraordinary can happen. Shriners Children's provides hope, healing, and the chance to dream big. They never allow the ability to pay to compromise the care children receive. Shriners Children's empowers the extraordinary, and you can too. Join me in supporting this life-changing cause and help provide the most amazing care anywhere.
And we start the bottom of the 4th inning. Levi Clark, Reese Chapman, Blaine Brown coming up for Tennessee. Heart of the order, facing Logan Redeman. So far, Redeman 3 scoreless innings for UCLA, has struck out 4 and has only given up 2 hits, both 1-out singles. Foul tip strike. It's 0-2. Here to Clark. Talked about Tennessee's national title in 2024. UCLA is one in their back pocket as well. 13 years ago, back in 2013. The trip to Omaha this past year, the 6th in program history for the Bruins. They've been to the regionals 26 times. Tons of Major League talent over the years. And of course, most notably, Jackie Robinson.
That is very true.
As we all know, his number 42 retired all across Major League Baseball. A barrier-breaking career in the bigs. But before that, a UCLA Bruin. Foul away, and no play for Brennan out and right. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes here to Clark. There's that number 42. That retired number in blue, the Ranger retired numbers in red here at Globe Life. Nolan Ryan, Johnny Oates, Ivan Pudge Rodriguez, Adrian Beltre, and Michael Young. Their numbers retired here in Arlington.
This ballpark represents a lot of history, and they do a great job of celebrating it.
And he goes. Clark offers and strikes out. That's a 5th for Redeman, and 1 down to the 4th.
He gets him to chase out of the zone, a slider away. We'll see that barrel gets going. Just gets right out in front of the plate. And you move that barrel enough, that gives those umpires permission to call a swing on it. And it looked like he did.
There are those retired Ranger numbers. Ty said a lot of baseball history in this city. The former Washington Senators becoming the Texas Rangers. Played at the ballpark across the street for a long time before moving here in 2020. Hosted a couple of World Series, but it's not just big league history now, Ty. This ballpark in this city has become the unofficial home of college baseball.
Indeed it has. In a tremendous setting for it. Look, it's 72 and sunny in here, regardless of what the weather is. And in Texas, if you're not from here, this time of year, it's hit or miss. I mean, it could be 45, it could be 85 like it is today. And to be able to know that as a coach, you're going to get in here and play. The elements are going to be perfect. The field's going to be perfect. You're going to play in a big league park. I mean, it's just, you're right. It has become a second home to college baseball with these tournaments. And my goodness, the teams that they bring in here is just loaded every weekend.
Swing and a miss. Back-to-back punch shots for Redeman. Chapman goes down swinging, and now 2 outs.
Well, this is tough on left-handed hitters. They think this is a middle inline fastball, and that slider just keeps running in on them. It's got just enough down to it that it gets underneath the barrel to create the miss.
4 in a row sat down by Redeman, brings up Blaine Brown as one of the 2 hits today against the Bruins righty. Ahead of the count, 1 ball, no strikes. More than 100 college baseball games have been played here since the park's opening. Not just the first handful of weekends every season. As that's hit into the shift, been played well by Aguayo. That's why the shift is on. 3 up and 3 down for Redeman to the 4th. We go to the 5th. All Bruins. Top-ranked UCLA leading Tennessee by 4.
Bowman Engineering and Consulting and their dedicated Amegy business banker worked together to put the us in business banking, which included the occasional lunch meeting. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing. With comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, planning sessions whenever you need them. Here we collaborate. Here you grow. Naylor Industries and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, focusing on their business needs with lightning speed. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry. Because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, a banking partner who is just as invested in your growth as you are. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
UCLA coming into the game 6-2, preseason #1 team of the country according to D1 Baseball. Last week in a sweep over top 10 TCU, did lose their midweek game against San Diego State before heading to Arlington. But they bounced back pretty impressively so far today, on top 4-0 as we start the 5th inning. Dominic Cadiz leading off here for the Bruins, and then the top of the order. And that would mark a 3rd time through for Tegan Coons. Pitch count is now up to 59 of that foul ball. 0-2. And on top of the first few weekends of the season to host college baseball, there's some midweek games here as well. And of course, the Big 12 tournament here every year now. Ground ball to the left side. Ford from third. And the throw gets away from Clark.
Well, he makes a good play on it. He takes a drop step first to make sure he doesn't need to back up. See this ball hit straight down into the dirt. Comes up. It's an easy field of it. Sometimes when you throw across there, you relax just a little too much, Brent. You can see it's a nice, easy play for him fielding it. Tough pick for the first baseman, Clark, to come up with.
E5 against Henry Ford. Nobody actively throwing in Tennessee's bullpen, but there are guys out there stretching and tossing the football right now. As Coons faces this part of the order for a 3rd time. And West to bunt down. Charging in Ford. Throw to first in time. The sacrifice will shuffle. Cadiz over to second base and 1 out in the 5th.
I had a sneaky suspicion they were going to go to a drag play. Get a left-handed hitter up. You had a third baseman that just made a throwing error. Drag to him, make the play again, another throw, but also in the meantime, if he does throw you out, you get your runner in scoring position.
Rock Chalowski, 1 for 2 with a double and a run.
One of the things about baseball, as a defender, you've always got to be aware of. If you make an error, if you make a mistake, oftentimes if the offensive team has a chance to put the ball back in your hand, they will, and/or the game will dictate it. It's coming right back to you. You always got to be ready. And when they say move to the next pitch in the next moment, as a defender, particularly as an infielder, and particularly as a corner infielder, you better be ready.
Chalowski on the year, 13 hits, 10 of them for extra bases, 6 homers and 4 doubles already this season. Swing and a miss on the fastball to 95, 1-2. We talked about the quality of play here over the years, all these tremendous programs, and with that, so many great players. We've seen top overall picks before. Chalowski could be another that will have made his way to Arlington. That'll roll away from Lawless and over to third goes Cadiz, able to beat the throw, and now another run for the Bruins 90 feet away.
Oh, that's just great base running right there, recognizing with one out. If you can get to third base to get into scoring position, this ball doesn't get that far away. We get another look at this. Gets away from the catcher just enough. Remember now, Brant, the catcher's going away from his throw, so it's going to make it harder on him.
Cholowski with a fly ball out to right. Cadiz will tag from third. He's coming home. And the throw not in time. Cholowski able to drive home Cadiz to make it 5-0 Bruins.
This is a great at bat. Cholowski knows that he's got to get the ball to the outfield and get the ball in play with the guy 90 feet away with less than 2. He shortens that swing up and gets to the bottom of that baseball and gets it out to right field just deep enough to get the runner in from third base.
UCLA scoring in this inning without a hit. The Arrogance Ford, a sacrifice, a wild pitch, and a fly ball, and another run of the lead. Here's LaVue, who hit a bomb his last time up, and that came with 2 outs back in the third. Grounded foul, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Roman Martin awaiting on deck. A swing and a miss. High fastball, and LaVue strikes out for the second time. Tegan Kuhn's 8 punch-outs today for Tennessee. But his offense has some work to do as the Vols trail by 5 in Arlington.
Woodcraft and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, creating a long-lasting relationship with open and quick communication. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll work to help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, the support you need to reach your business goals faster. Here we collaborate. Here you grow. Possible Missions and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking by sharing the same values both in the office and out in the community. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, by being a true community partner. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
And welcome back to Arlington, where UCLA leads Tennessee 5-0 in the 5th. A look at the preseason poll in the SEC. The Volunteers picked to finish 6th. Preseason favorite, the reigning national champion LSU Tigers. Texas, the Longhorns, one of the 11 unbeatens coming into the weekend. They're ranked 3rd of the country. Mississippi State, who we saw earlier, preseason pick number 3 in the SEC. And we talked with Coach Elander for the Vols about the conference and what exactly separates the SEC from everybody else beyond the talent itself. And he said, look, in the SEC, anybody can win in any venue at any time. That's what makes the SEC special.
It's been mentioned so many times that there's such a thin line of victory or defeat. And when you pour so much money and resources into facilities, staff, I mean, there's so many different things now that weigh in on college athletics. In the SEC, they're willing and able to go after that and say, we want to be good in baseball, and from top to bottom, the conference is. You mentioned it in game 1. There's not that layup that you circle on your counter going, well, we'll beat those guys. We won't even have to maybe even play our best. You see a strikeout on the fastball up and in.
And Redeman up to 7 strikeouts now. Myatt down swinging for a second time. 6 in a row retired by Logan Redeman. 4+ innings of scoreless baseball, only a couple of hits. And now to the plate, Stone Lawless. Swing and a miss. Starts him off with a changeup, 0-1.
Just seems like every time Redeman wants to get into that tank and grab a little extra on that fastball for a strikeout, he's been able to do it.
Tennessee this weekend playing UCLA today, Arizona State tomorrow, Virginia Tech on Sunday, and not a ton of history against these 3 teams. That's inside. You know, this matchup today, first time since 1997 at the Stillwater Regional. That's the last time these two played each other.
Yeah, but they're so far separated geographically that their probably best chance would be in a regional. We talked about that before the game. You know, regional, super regional, because of, you know, both programs' success, or a tournament like this.
And these are far more prevalent now than they used to be.
That's correct.
Maybe fouled that off himself a bit. Last time the Vols played Arizona State 12 years ago in Tempe. The last time they played Va Tech back in 2013. A miss inside. Fills the count here to Lawless.
All these coaches like the idea of playing in these tournaments, Big League Park. But what they like, if they're going to play another opponent, get in a neutral site, not having to go into somebody else's ballpark, pre-conference wise or non-conference, however you want to say it, and then when you stack it in here with, and you know you can come to this tournament and play this kind of competition on a neutral site, coaches like that.
Full count pitch. Hit to the right side of the infield. Aguayo on to Lavu for the second out. And Coach Elander echoing the sentiments we've had about this ballpark tie. He called it one of the best venues in the game.
Yeah, and he spent some time here as a player and as a young assistant. He's been around this area. An Austin native kid, played for historic Round Rock High School, and John Carter, who has been, and then John Langerhans before that, creating the Round Rock baseball tradition and a huge, you know, Texas baseball power.
Nobody on, 2 away from Marin. Pull side shift is on as he takes a strike. It is 0-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 to Marin. By the way, Tennessee's first SEC series. In a couple of weekends, they'll go to Athens to take on Georgia. Their first one at home, weekend of March 20th against Missouri. On the ground, and it was the first baseman Lavu on that shift, able to make the pick, and then it's Redeman doing his job, cover the bag at first, and able to beat Marin there. A 1-2-3-5, and Redeman has sat down 8 straights. Well, John Savage told us his defense is elite this year, playing like it today. As Redeman has a shutout going into the 6th, 5-0 Bruins. And welcome back to Arlington. Young fan enjoying himself with the stands here. UCLA on top 5-0 as we start the 6th, and a ball hit into the shift. Marin over to first. Able to take care of Roman Martin, one pitch into the inning. So the last half inning ending on this defensive play for the Bruins.
Yeah, and they were shifted over. The first baseman is in the second baseman lane. Look how fired up he is. He knows that they work on that play all the time, and it's an unusual defense for to move the first baseman where the lane of the second baseman historically would be, and you can see how fired up and how much work they put into it.
One pitch in and out for Coons in the 6th, and facing Peyton Brennan took him deep to the opposite field in the 4th inning. 5 runs, 4 hits, no errors for UCLA. No runs and a couple of hits and 2 errors for Tennessee. Count 1 ball, 1 strike.
Both of these teams defensively are very aggressive with their shifts, and that means they're putting in the work on the data, following all the hitters, knowing what their pitchers are like and how they try to pitch and what they, their sequence of trying to get after hitters. And you look at Tennessee now, I mean, they're playing a pull side shift to the left-handed hitter, which you see very common. But for UCLA on that last play, moving their first baseman all the way over, and he knew it. I mean, look, that's something you work on, and they were able to execute it.
Got him looking, strike 3. 9 punch outs now for Coons, and 2 down to the 6th.
And there's that fastball away, that four-seamer with great light. He's still got good stuff. This fastball still got some juice behind it.
And Aguayo batting now for the Bruins. Offensive timeout called here by UCLA. Again, John Savage told us before the game that his defense was playing at a very high level to start the year. Through the first 8 games of the year, the Bruins have only committed 2 errors, a .993 fielding percentage for UCLA, 3rd of the country. There is only one team left in the nation of 300 teams that has not committed an error this year. Samford. That's it.
Yeah, that's obviously incredibly impressive. And then that was an offensive timeout for your defense as well, for your pitcher. That's 2 quick outs. Your pitcher is exerting a lot of energy. He had to run over and cover first base. Remember on the end of the inning. And all of a sudden you get 2 quick outs. You got a guy who's deep in the game, going into the 6th. You want to try to buy as much time as you can for your pitcher who's throwing the ball really well.
I think I shortchanged Coons a strikeout. That was his 10th. 5 2/3, 10 strikeouts today.
Well, again, historically, if you were going to pull up a stat line right now and throw down 10 punches, you're not giving up 5 runs very often. I mean, that speaks to UCLA's offense and their 2-out offense that they've had 2 times in this game so far.
Up the middle, and a nice backhand by Newstrom. Throw to first, though, going to take Clark well off the bag. Just a yeoman's effort to simply get there and try to make that throw, but Aguayo reaches with the second infield hit of the game.
Now that was going to be a tough play. Ball up the middle, second baseman going away from his throwing target. That was going to take a Sports Center type play for him to be able to throw him out.
He talked about the 2-out offense for UCLA. Of their 5 hits, 4 of them will come with 2 outs. Extends the inning to Cashel Duggar. And has one of those 2-out hits, a double driving in. Aguayo back in the 2nd. Swing and a miss, strike 1. That ball headed towards left field. Myatt makes the catch, falling down. Tyler Myatt A great play out in left, robbing Duggar of a base hit, and that'll end the inning for UCLA.
Get another look at this, Brent. Left fielder comes crashing in, diving head first right at the baseball. One of the hardest catches in baseball to make, but he's able to come up in for the third out.
All 3 weekends of college baseball here at Globe Life Field benefit Shriners Children's, with a portion of ticket sales going to a worthy cause that is dedicated to improving the lives of children around the world. To donate, scan the QR code on your screen or visit collegebaseballseries.com. Ray Freeman alongside Ty Harrington. Glad to have you with us on this Friday afternoon. Game 2 of a triple header. UCLA and Tennessee coming up next. Virginia Tech and Texas A&M. Ty's decided to punch out early today and won't work the triple header. So Greg Swindell will be in the booth for the nightcap.
Indeed he will. So he just rolled in, sitting up here enjoying some college baseball himself.
When the Texas Longhorns Ring of Honor. Tremendous career for the Horns.
Honor. Young man's got his name on the building.
That's in the ring,
I'm
right?
just saying, yeah, but there's not many that do, by the way.
And a World Series champion with the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2001 as that ball is ripped foul. Chris Newstrom leading off here for the Vols in the 6th inning, and still out there is Logan Redeman for UCLA. Pitch count getting higher now. That was his 80th pitch of the afternoon. Newstrom has one of the 2 hits for Tennessee today. Maybe another one. Belts one to left. And the Volunteers are on the board.
Young man's having a good day offensively. This ball runs in on him, does a great job of sliding his hands inside and gets enough of it and showing off his power and athleticism in the box. We're going to get another look at it, Brent. Watch that ball running in. He knew he hit it good, but he also knows he's a freshman. He wanted to make sure he gets around those bases. It was a big-time swing.
And he got around him quick. And the home run cuts the lead to 4 as we go to the top of the order. Jay Abernathy, tough start to his day, has struck out twice against Redeman. Foul away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, Newstrom comes from a baseball family too. Dad played at Arizona State, was a great player, professional player as well. Mom was a volleyball player at Arizona State, and that is an athletic family. You can imagine he's taking a couple of BP rounds with his dad here along the way, right?
It's 1-2. Volunteers were last year in Arlington a couple of years ago at the national title year of 2024. It was opening weekend then, and they won the Shriners Children's Tournament 2-1. Wins over Texas Tech and Baylor. Only setback was an extra inning loss to Oklahoma. The 2020 so far have belonged to Tennessee in terms of winning percentage. Since the start of the 2020 year, no team in college baseball has won more games or at a higher percentage than Tennessee. They've won 278 games. Second on the list, Arkansas, 250. Payoff pitch, and Abernathy takes a walk. He's off for the first time. Tennessee mounting something here in the sixth inning.
Yeah, not as sharp. Rudderman's not. His misses have gotten a little wider, a little bit bigger. His stuff is still good, meaning his velocity is still good. Those misses are starting to get off the plate now and off the edge, and he's starting to get behind in the count. Be anxious to see. I can see the bullpen. I'm not anxious now. They're starting to move around to try to get ready. I know they would have loved to try to find a way to get him through this inning. Tennessee may have different ideas.
They're look at Ian May, left-hander, up the pen for the Volunteers. So far, the numbers for Rudderman, 5 innings, the 1 run, that his first walk of the day, and has struck out 7. His pitch count is up there in the high 80s now. Here comes plate umpire Casey Mosier to break this up. Comes Henry Ford now for Tennessee.
If you're a Tennessee fan, you're right in the teeth of your order. You've already hit a homer in this inning. Leadoff guy on with a walk, and this may be one of those moments you get to try to get to Rudderman.
That ball into right, and a base hit just by the glove of Aguirre. Ford is on for the first time. 2 on for Tennessee and nobody out.
Jumps on a first pitch fastball. A lot of times right after a visit, you always think that a pitcher's going to try to go right to the strike zone, and does. He gets just enough of this. Got in on him some. He gets just enough to get it past the second baseman. We almost came up with that play too. That would have been a tremendous play.
Just like that, the tying run is on deck. Levi Clark 0 for 2 today for the Volunteers. '90th pitch for Logan Rudderman. It's ball 1.
Yeah, those are those misses that are getting wider now. That started at the beginning of this inning. Throughout prior to, his misses were minimal off the edge of the plate. These are starting to get wider and a little bit more elevated.
0 pitch on the way. That ball in the air. Into left. West losing his hat will call off Gasparino in center and put it away for the first out.
I know a double play is a pitcher's best friend, but sometimes when you're struggling to give up a homer and a walk and a base hit, a fly ball to left field often helps just for you to try to catch your breath just a little bit.
And that's Reese Chapman. Hitless with a strikeout. Hitting cleanup today for head coach Josh Elander.
Yeah, that's decision time now. You got a lefty coming up, and I think they're going to make the move.
That will be it for Logan Rudderman. 5+ innings, 7 strikeouts, but can't get out of the 6th. Our first pitching change of the day is for UCLA, with the Bruins on top by 4 in Arlington. And Logan Redeman done for the day for the Bruins. Exits in the 6th inning, but across 5+ frames tie, struck out 7.
Man was just fabulous early in this game with a pitching against a really potent Tennessee offense, and he was able to dial up, trying to punch out a lot with that fastball. And good energy behind it, great command. It's a tremendous performance by that young man. And when he was coming off the field, you could see his teammates, they almost met him at the white line, because they know how much he puts into every start and how important he is to not only the success they've had, but moving forward as well.
It is a 4-run lead for UCLA, but some traffic on the base paths. A couple of runners on here for Tennessee, only one out. And the middle part of the order batting here is Ian May comes in now for the Bruins out of the pen. Second-year transfer out of Cal. A year ago split his time between the bullpen and starting. Over 70 innings a season ago, third most on the staff. ERA under 5 last year. This marks his 5th appearance of this season. Did pitch twice in the TCU series last week. And very good strikeout numbers. 12 and 8 2/3 innings this season.
Yeah, it's more than a good enough fastball, but a great breaker on top of that with a changeup. He comes into a tough situation here now, giving up a run. You got runners, as you just mentioned, some traffic on the bases, runners at first and second. But they do bring him in with a left-left matchup.
It is 5th season now of college baseball. 3 at Cal and his 2nd at UCLA, facing Chapman. Strike 1. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball there. Nothing in 2. May battled an elbow injury in his 2nd year at Cal. That's the reason why he's got a 5th year now pitching for the Bruins. (0-2). Chase or a waste pitch that Chapman went off for at. And it began with a Newstrom home run, a walk and a base hit and a fly out. That's where we are now. 5-1 game of the 6th. Did he offer? No, says Matt McKendry to third.
Yeah, I felt like they'd go back to another breaker. Now you had a 2-2 pitch. Oftentimes, you'll see the coaches that are calling the pitches go to what they think is his best pitch, what gives him his best chance. We're going to see what they go to.
It's off the plate. Fills the count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Tying run is on deck. Blaine Brown. Just 2 walks and 8 innings so far for May this season. Walks him here. Great at-bat by Chapman, and the bases are loaded.
You're right on spot with that, Brand. I mean, he had every chance after he fell behind in the count, 2 strikes. The first big waste pitch was too far off the plate, but the next 3 were close enough. He could have got that barrel moving enough, but he checks his swing twice in that last 3-pitch sequence to stay off of it and earn a walk. Now you got the bases loaded.
And Brown has plenty of home run power for this year. Had 2 in a game against Nichols. Homer to the midweek win over Bellarmine earlier this week. Left on left, first pitch. He takes a strike in the outer half. Homer 10 times a year ago for Rice. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball, 0-2.
Well, this is interesting too with UCLA's defensive alignment. They've got their second baseman playing deeper out of double play depth. Normal double play depth. And they're playing deep on the right side with all 3 defenders.
Got him on 3 pitches. On the outer half of the plate, Brown frozen on the slider, and there's 2 outs in the 6th.
I think Brown's thinking this breaker's off the plate. We'll get another look at it. Certainly had a lot of break to it. We'll get a chance to look in the strike box what this is gonna, whether it is or it isn't. It looked like it was off the plate a little bit. Sure enough, it was.
Now Tyler Myatt. Struck out twice against Redeman. He may try to get UCLA out of the jam here. Bruins enter the inning up 5. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Took a little bit more off that slider. Had a really nice late break to it. It started at the left-handed hitter's hip and came back and caught the middle part of the plate.
That ball into center field and a base hit. The first trout hit of the game for Tennessee, drives in 2, and it's a 2-run game.
Tennessee had to come up with something to get bases on after the homer, get some base runners. Looked like it was going to be UCLA finding a way to wiggle out of it. But this is a great at-bat. He hits his ball right back up the middle, sitting on that slider. And there wasn't a whole lot of territory where there wasn't a defender up the middle. It was hit hard enough to get by a diving shortstop for 2 RBI single.
Tyler Myatt coming through for Tennessee. And now he represents a tying run. Both runs charged to Redeman on that hit, scoring Abernathy and Ford. And now the 8th batter of the inning comes up, Stone Lawless. One ball to no strikes. Lawless today 0 for 2 with a strikeout. That ball through the left side for another base hit. Chapman around third, coming to the plate. The throw is cut off. This is a 1-run game.
You see the momentum completely switch over to the Tennessee dugout, coming up with their version of 2-out hitting with 3 RBIs on 2 outs so far. Elevated pitch to a right-handed hitter, and he does exactly what you should do with it. Pull it over to the left side in between his shortstop and the third baseman to get enough barrel to it to drive it through the infield.
Back-to-back 2-out base hits. And the go-ahead run now on base. We might see another change here for the Bruins as Fall Nation has taken over at Globe Life Field.
They've already made the change. He's going to go to the bullpen.
Bruins, make another change on the mound. That's it for Ian May. Cal Randall coming in now for the Bruins. Trying to put out the Flames as Tennessee has stormed back, now within one. Tough outing for Ian May out of the pen. Faced 4 batters and 3 reached. A couple of 2-out base hits along the way, driving in 3 runs. And with that, the Bruins have gone to the pen. Thought we saw Cal Randall coming out of the pen, but UCLA has gone a different direction here. It's Jake Swinson in the game now. And Swinson with a miss against Manny Marin, the 9th batter of the inning for Tennessee. All started with a homer hit by Chris Newstrom. And they're the numbers on Swinson. The 3rd pitcher UCLA has had on the mound this inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners first and second. 2 outs. Volunteers have pieced together back-to-back 2-out run-scoring hits as the count runs to 2-1. Swinson, a first-year transfer from Linfield University. Did pitch this past Tuesday against San Diego State, only threw 6 pitches. That ball was hit to center field. Gasparino got turned around, but makes the catch to end the inning. But Tennessee scores 4. We got a game heading into the 7th. Bruins 5, Vols 4. You're watching the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series on FloCollege. Texas A&M waiting its turn. The Yankees unbeaten on the year, coming into the weekend ranked 23rd of the country. And they'll cap things off tonight against Virginia Tech in a matchup between the ACC and the SEC. Right now, it's Big Ten versus SEC, and a good one here. 5-4. UCLA on top. Hokies also here. Globe Life. Bruins coming to bat. This after the Volunteers struck for 4 runs in the 6th inning.
Obviously, they needed a big inning. Were able to come up with it. The majority of it with 2 outs.
Volunteers sent 9 to the plate in that inning. As that ball is hit towards center, and Abernathy with a long run, and Abernathy looks, and it's gone. Will Gasparino to one of the deepest parts of the park. Another Bruin homer, their 3rd today.
We were talking earlier about hitting opposite field home runs and how challenging it is, and it shows off your real power if you're able to do this. We also talk about the buggy whip this young man has in that barrel, and he just absolutely showed it off. As you talked about, to the deepest part of the park, this ball was still hustling when it left the ballpark. Look at this swing out away from him, gets full extension with those long arms and those long levers. That ball was hit a long way.
Will Gasparino going deep for the Bruins. Peyton Brennan and Willie LeBou have also gone yard today for UCLA. More about Will Gasparino, first-year transfer from Texas. Had a great freshman campaign for the Horns. As Ty talked about, too, not just known for his bat, but excellent defensively out in center. And he's got a lot of pop in his bat. Has already shown that off in his first couple of weeks as a Bruin. And his home run has chased Tegan Kuhn's out of the game. Volunteers go to the bullpen for the first time today. Here in the 7th inning. We're back after this. And the day is done for Tegan Kuhn's for Tennessee. Takes the game into the 7th inning, and across his 6 frames of work, Ty struck out 10.
The stuff was real today. Fastball at 96 to 98 at times. Slider was good for him. Fastball was probably his best weapon late in the count. But again, you just don't normally see a line where you see that many punch outs and you're giving up 6 runs. Now, a couple of errors squished in there as 2, and then that last home run by Gasparino that traveled 436 feet. I mean, that is a long way for a ball to travel. But again, he went back out to stay in that game into the 7th inning.
And the ball headed off to Brandon Arvidsson. Preseason first team All-SEC. You saw his body of work in the young season this year. Last year, 30 appearances, second most in the team. That pitch is hit in the air to left field, heading towards the wall, and the catch is made by Mike with little room to spare. Cadiz with a deep fly to left for the first out of the inning.
Well, I love it because it starts off, you think, well, it's going to be a routine, fly ball to left field, but the way this field is designed, it angles out from the left field pole, and that fence comes in closer, and all of a sudden you realize this might get close to getting out. The left fielder does a good job, Maya does, of getting to the fence and finding it and making the catch.
One away in the seventh, back at the top of the Bruins order to Dean West. 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts and a sac bunt today. First pitch is a take on a fastball at 91. Bruins have scored in all but 2 innings so far today. Exceptions the first and the sixth. West thought to be one of the top leadoff hitters in college baseball, yet to get on today. His sac bunt, though, in the fifth did lead to a run later in the inning. 3 balls and a strike.
He's not afraid to work the count, which is a part of the job of the leadoff hitter. Right? Try to find your way.
Oh, that hit him. And he's not a big target up there either.
Oh, that pitch just got away from him. But again, we were talking about his ability to work the count and to do what he just did right there. Find a way to gain 90 feet to first base and allow those guys coming up behind you who supply a lot of your RBIs, set the table for them.
Well, that would be one of those guys right here, Rock Chalowski. A double that RBI and run scored today. And he's ahead of Arvidsson 2-0.
That's 4 arm side misses in a row. He's going to get a visit from the pitching coach because of that. Those are bigger arm side misses. Can mean a handful of things, mechanically, emotionally, whichever. The ball's coming out too early. It's going to create some activity in the pen.
Second-year pitching coach Josh Reynolds, the one on the mound right now for Tennessee. The double barrel action going on in the Volunteers bullpen. Well behind Chalowski here, 2-0. The consensus National Player of the Year last year. That ball hit towards center field, drifting over Abernathy, and he's got it for the second out.
He puts a pretty good swing on this ball. It's one of those loud outs to center field. Abernathy does such a good job of breaking. His initial couple steps are so direct to where he's trying to go to outrun the baseball, and plenty of explosive.
On our first 2 outs for Mulibai Lavu. Again, that home run of his early in the game came with 2 outs. Fouled away, 0-2. UCLA 6 hits in the game. 4 of them have come with 2 down. Runner takes off, and this ball hits to left and going to drop in as West will head over to third. Another 2-out hit for the Bruins, and they have runners in their corners.
He was off on the pitch. He got a great jump as well. And with 2 outs, didn't have to stop to make sure it was down. He got all the way to third base, but a nice piece of hitting going the other way. The Bruins, when they get 2 outs, it's almost like they grab another gear today. I mean, their 2-out hitting has been, you see, above average.
Big moment here for Roman Martin. UCLA got a little bit more breathing room in the inning with a homer from Gasparino. They like some more right now. As this first pitch is pumped in for a strike. Robertson against Martin, who's hitless with 3 ground ball outs.
I could see West. The screen, you couldn't see it. Left-handed pitcher, he was almost halfway down the line when the pitch was delivered. Anything that gets away from the catcher, he's going to be able to score easily. The left-handed pitcher's got his back turned to the third base, so he's able to get an extended lead. Third baseman is probably 20 feet away from third base, and so you're told as a base runner to get as far off as the third baseman is. And when the pitch starts to be delivered, he'll extend his lead. UCLA decide they want to try to run a first and third steal with 2 outs to maybe create a couple throws and try to get the runner in from third base.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And the count fills. If Martin can reach on a walk, that will load him up for Peyton Brennan. And Brennan homered earlier in the game for UCLA. That ball hit well to left, going back. Myatt at the wall and leaps it. It is gone. 3-run bomb, Roman Martin. Back to a 5-run lead for the Bruins.
I'll get a chance in a minute to add up all the 2-out runs that UCLA has managed today, but I thought originally this ball got in on his hands enough that it was going to keep it in the park. Showing off his strength, 380-foot blast to left field. That's a good-looking swing. Watch, he gets right all the way back to the fence, leaps up and just misses it by about 2 or 3 feet. But it just missed. It's still a home run and a 3-run home run and some more RBIs for the Bruins with 2 outs.
The Falls scored 4 in the bottom of the 6. What do the Bruins do? They put up 4 of their own in the 7th, and they're still going. Tennessee going to the bullpen again. UCLA on top 9-4 in the 7th on FloCollege. Sawyer Deering into the game now for Tennessee, replacing Brendan Arvidsson, who couldn't get out of the 7th inning. The Bruins tagging him for 3 runs on that one swing from Roman Martin. There's a bunt put down that's going to shoot foul from Peyton Brennan. And more 2-out offense for UCLA today. They have had a tremendous approach with 2-out hitting in this game.
They sure have. I mean, they've been able to do it in a lot of different ways. Doubles, then backed up with singles, homers, walks, hit batsmen. They don't surrender that 3rd out very easily.
Of the 9 runs UCLA has scored, as you see Brennan reach base here. Of the 9 runs scored, 7 have come with 2 outs. The exceptions being the leadoff homers hit in the 4th and 7th innings by Brennan and Gasparino.
Another look at this pitch, hit by pitch, almost looks like he stuck that elbow out there with a little padding on it. You see that contested often.
Not this time, as Aguayo comes up now. By the way, every batter in the UCLA lineup has factored into the scoring, either scoring a run or driving one in. Goes back to what we talked about with John Savage, the depth of this lineup, hitters 1 through 9. You're looking for a hole and it doesn't exist.
People love to use the word balance in your lineup, and oftentimes it's balance with power, but this is it. They've just got so many different ways to get after you. I mean, look, they've shown they can bunt. They show they'll drag. They've got obvious power that they've shown today. They've got gap power, but what they have done today is they just don't give up that 3rd out very easily. And oftentimes when you start talking about a lineup, that 3rd out will show up if your lineup's not balanced and if it's not top to bottom good. You have a rally going, then all of a sudden you get to the lower part of the order where the guy's not that great a hitter, and all of a sudden that 3rd out is recorded.
Strike to Aguayo, 3-1. The 2-out number today for the Bruins, 6 for 13. They are 2 for 15 otherwise. Another free ticket to first, this time in a walk. Aguayo was on, and the 9th batter of the 7th comes up for the Bruins.
I don't know if we're going to see another pitching change, but a coach is out of the dugout. Yep, we are.
And that's it for Deering. Faces 2 batters. And the Volunteers again go to the pen. Into the game now, Taylor Tracy for Tennessee. It'll be the 4th different pitcher the Vols will have used trying to get out of the 7th. Coming to the day, UCLA, 17 home runs, 8th in the country. Well, they've added to that total and then some this afternoon. Mulibai Lavu, a 2-run shot of the third, came with 2 outs. Peyton Brennan, leadoff opposite field bomb in the 4th. And fast forward to the 7th inning, UCLA would go deep twice. Will Gasparino, a leadoff home run of his own to the deepest part of the park, out in right center. And then with 2 outs, Roman Martin with 2 on, coming through with a 3-run homer just over the wall in left. 4 homers today for the Bruins. And they lead the Volunteers 9-4.
Their power is on display. It has been from the beginning of the game till now. And different guys, too, all the way through their lineup. Right-handed, left-handed. They've been able to take on every matchup from the mound from Tennessee, right hand or left hand. Fastball, breakers. They've done a good job offensively, creating innings, and then taking advantage of a couple of mistakes that Tennessee made defensively. And going back to what you brought up about Coach Savage and his lineup, it's balanced, it's got depth to it. And that's part of the reason why it's hard to get the 3rd out on these guys to close out innings.
Taylor Tracy into the game now for Tennessee. Feels like ages ago, but if you recall, the starter Tegan Kuntz started this inning. Gave up the homer to Gasparino, then he came out. Arvidsson got 2 batters out, but then he couldn't get that 3rd and final out. Deering faced 2 batters, hit 1, walked the other, and now here we are to Tracy, and that's a base hit to center for Duggar, and another 2-out hit and run for UCLA. Another throw gets away, brings in another run. Aguayo scores. 11-4 Bruins.
Well, there's been a lot of first pitch swinging today by both teams. UCLA doing a good job on this one. He squeezes his hands on this pitch that looked like it's in on him, driving it back through the middle part of the field. So we get a look right here. So he pulls his hands in there, drives it back through. And then if you're probably one of the more frustrating things I'm sure going to be for Coach Elander and his staff is this right here, the ball just thrown into the infield over the relay guy's head, allowing another run to score.
Brennan Aguayo scoring the play. Duggar, his 2nd run batted in. He's at 2nd. And now the Bruins have batted around. Back to Gasparino. When Gasparino hit his homer, it felt like a sigh of relief if you were the Bruins, because Tennessee had just scored 4. And that had given UCLA a 2-run lead. Well, who would have thought he'd be batting again, and it's up to 7.
Well, you're right. I mean, that was because they got it within 1, and all of a sudden you're like, uh-oh. And here come the balls, and well, you added on, and you're right. You kind of let it exhale out when Gasparino hit that homer, but I mean, obviously a lot's taken place since that home run that he hit.
After Gasparino, it's Dominic Cadiz, and then the top of the order again. This has become a very long half inning if you're a Volunteers fan. And now Newstrom will come out and talk here with Tracy. Freshman left-hander out of Austin, Texas. Grew up about 3 hours outside. of Arlington, and Gasparino will now take first base.
Now we're going to see another visit from the Tennessee dugout. Sometimes in this game, things get going sideways. We'll start wobbling. And it's just every once in a while it does that. I mean, it certainly has happened this way in this half inning. Well, the reason for the walk is it had to make eye contact with the hitter, and they warned him the first time. Second time, it's an automatic ball call, which is part of the game now. This is why Gasparino was awarded first base.
Gasparino at first. He's off for the second time of the inning. Dominic Cadiz at the plate for UCLA. And it's hit into one of the 2 outs for the Bruins here in the 7th. And now facing Tracy. 1 ball and no strikes. Tracy made his college debut just 10 days ago. One and one. Hails from a baseball family. Dad played at Texas Tech. Grandfather played at Oregon State. Misses inner half of the plate with a breaking ball. 2 balls and a strike to Cadiz.
Now, sometimes baseball itself, the sport collects its own. And what I mean by that, the beauty of it and the excitement of it, generations are around it, and it collects them into the sport too.
That ball ripped to left, and it is a foul ball. Six runs in the inning for UCLA, and 5 scoring with 2 outs.
Hard part about that is if you're on the defensive side, you know all along you're 1 pitch away from getting out of that inning.
That ball hit on the ground to the left side. It is scooped up by Marin. Throw to first is untargeted Clark to end the inning, but UCLA puts up 6. And now a 7-run lead. Time to stretch at Globe Life. 11-4 Bruins. And welcome back to Arlington. An offensive day for UCLA. The Bruins have scored in all but 2 innings and just put up 6 in the 7th. This after Tennessee had gotten back into the game. 11-4. As As we go to the bottom of the seventh inning stretch presented by Amegy Bank. And a new pitcher on the mound for UCLA. And now is Jack O'Connor, senior right-hander from Palos Verdes, California. Starter Logan Redeman going 5+ innings today for the Bruins. A couple of different bullpen arms. Came in for Coach Savage in the 6th, Ian May and Jack Swinson. And now it's Jack O'Connor. Last 2 innings have been very offensive for these two teams. 4 for the Vols in the 6th, 6 for the Bruins in the 7th. And now O'Connor trying to put that into a halt as he faces Chris Newstrom. It'll lead off homer for Tennessee as a part of that 4-run 6th.
If you're a Vols fan, this is where your last rally started. In the 9-hole position, as you just mentioned, with a homer.
Checks the swing, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Get another look at this check swing. Could have called that either way.
And that's 2-1. UCLA will take on Texas A&M tomorrow, wrap up the weekend against Mississippi State on Sunday. This 2-1 pitch on the outer half of the strike zone. It's 2-2.
Newstrom thinks that ball's below the strike zone. It's a good take if you're a hitter because it's a tough pitch to hit. It's right at the bottom, right there below the strike zone, right at it. And as a hitter, as long as you don't have 2 strikes, you need to take that pitch. That's too hard of a pitch to try to get the barrel to drive through the infield or to drive into the outfield to the gap. So every once in a while, you just tip your hat and move on to the next pitch.
Newstrom, Abernathy 4, batting for the Vols in the 7th. This ball hit to center. Gasparino, long run, and it is over his head. Bounces off the bottom of the wall. Newstrom on his horse to third. A leadoff triple for Chris Newstrom for Tennessee.
Well, this young guy coming into the lineup today, he's been in and out of the lineup. He's playing like he doesn't want to come out of there. You start looking at coming up with a base hit, starting to rally with a homer, and then this time driving a ball into center field. And let me tell you, if you drive it over Gasparino's head, you've struck that ball pretty well as he lands on third base and hopes of starting another rally for the Vols.
And back at the top of the Tennessee order to Jay Abernathy. A couple of strikeouts to the walk today. He's also scored a run. First pitch fouled away, strike 1. Again, you look at this UCLA roster and a lot of talent from the state of California. A lot of development within the program. They don't hit the portal hard. Went through their growing pains in 2024, paid off to the tune of a big year last year. Swing and a miss, strike 2, and this team could be even better this season.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. I mean, health always comes into play, being able to keep your players and your pitching staff healthy. But they were tagged from the get-go of being the #1 team in the country.
This ball is skied into foul ground, and from third, it's Martin with a catch and the first out here in the 7th.
Oftentimes that being tabbed the #1 team in the country at the beginning based off of what you did the year before, returners. I hit nowadays it's based on what you did the year before, your returners, and then your portal guys, and what does that look like and how accomplished were they as players at wherever they're coming from.
Henry Ford, 1 for 3. The Bruins had the top signing class in the country back in 2023. On the ground, left side. This will be a productive out. As the runner comes home, Newstrom. Ford drives him in to make it 11-5.
He does get the runner in from third base. And Cholowski just... Fielding ground balls is fun if you're good at it, particularly if you're good at it. I mean, he just makes it look like it's a walk in the park. I mean, he goes 2 steps to his right, fields it, nice, easy, relax. Throw across the diamond, and when you're throwing it relaxed like that, still have enough to get on it to first base and be so accurate. You make the game look real easy.
And here's a shift for Levi Clark. We've seen this shift against him all game long.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this shift is I'd love to see the timing. I know they can do it because they wouldn't do this otherwise. I would love to see the timing, a one-hop line drive to the shortstop third baseman. Now the timing is they know they got to take a couple shuffle steps to allow that first baseman to get over to first base to cover it. But I'm curious because being an old infielder and a coach, I want to watch it. I want to see it happen. We would move our first baseman over, but not as far as UCLA has. Again, if you look, if you guys can't see it, but when at the beginning of it, they showed you the first baseman's in the second baseman position line, not deep, but in that same line, just to the right of the pitcher.
3-1 from O'Connor. That ball headed towards right. Brennan makes the catch short of the warning track to end the inning. Tennessee gets a run back, but the deficit sits at 6 as we head to the 8th. 11-5 UCLA. Heading into the 8th inning from Globe Life. Here's how we got here. Logan Redeman, Bruins starter, 5+ innings, strikes out 7, only giving up 1 earned run. The Bruins have gone deep 4 times, courtesy of 4 different players. And they have cashed in with runners on base. For Tennessee, Tegan Coons strikes out 10 across 6 innings, but gives up 4 earned runs. And offensively for the Vols, they've scored 5 times, 4 of those runs coming in the 6th. And they have left some meat to the bone as well. 3 for 12 with runners on base. 4 left on today as we go to the 8th, 11-5 UCLA.
The first half of the game was all about, majority of it, the guys on the mound. The offense arrived for UCLA earlier, particularly the power today. Kind of reminds you of that first weekend here when 21 homers hit in that opening weekend.
As the new pitcher for the Volunteers, Nick Abraham, in now for Tennessee. And he will face the top of the Bruins order, West, Cholowski, and LeVou. Cholowski and LeVou last year combined to drive in 159 runs, the most for a duo at UCLA since 1997. And here's West, a table setter. First pitch, swings, drives one to center. Abernathy, and one out.
Both teams aggressive all day. A lot of first pitch swings. Coaches have enough confidence in them that they're not going to chase out of the zone, put themselves in bad counts, or take swings at bad pitches. They green light them. I mean, even Tennessee, when they were chasing 7 runs, they were still up there swinging aggressively early in a count.
And Chalowski hit by a pitch. And he's on base with 1 down to the 8th. That'll bring up Mulivai Lavu as one of the 4 homers today for UCLA. Came back in the 3rd inning with 2 outs.
Here we go. You get a look at that ball. It ran back out over the plate. You got this kind of power and that kind of swing. You leave a ball middle, he's going to get busy with it.
Of the 4 homers hit by UCLA today, that was the first one. And again from Lavu, back in the 3rd. Singled his last time up in the 7th inning. And that gave Roman Martin a chance with 2 outs, and he came through with a home run. And here he takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Lavu. Part of this heavy amount of returning production from last year, Lavu. In fact, for UCLA, no Division I program returns more production from last season. Between innings pitched and at-bats, runs scored, etc. 83% of the production from last year back in LA this season as Lavu is hit by a pitch. And that'll bring up Roman Martin. Just talked about him tying the 7th inning. He came through with a clutch 2-out, 3-run shot of his own.
You get another look at this too. This ball was in. He does a tremendous job of really getting his hands in there, pinches them in to get that barrel flush to the baseball, catches enough of it, and I think shows off his real strength because he didn't get extended on this ball.
Martin again on with 2 runners on base. Chalowski, Lavu getting hit by pitches by Abraham. 6-run game here in the 8th inning. Two big misses on the glove side there from Abraham. 2 balls and no strikes. Here the homers hit by the Bruins. Again had 2 in the 7th. One of those from Martin. Off the plate, 3-0.
That's 3 straight pitches in a row. He's pulled over to the left-handed hitter's box out of the zone.
Three-1. Peyton Brennan awaits on deck. Another one of the home run hitters today for UCLA. And he's on with a walk to load him up. And that brings up Brennan. And again, he too going yard today for UCLA. A leadoff homer back in the 4th.
It's just kind of like Groundhog Day, going through these highlights one after another. One guy gets on, next guy comes up who had hit a homer This wasn't an impressive one, too, because this is opposite field. This is letting that ball get as deep as you can into your swing, Brant, and then getting everything in behind it and driving it out to left field for an Oppo home run. That is not easy to do.
Bases full, 1 out for Brennan. Chalowski at third, Lavu at second, Martin at first base, all without the courtesy of a hit. And it counts 1 ball, 1 strike.
We were talking about how aggressive both teams have been early in counts, and they have, but one of the differences for UCLA today, they've been aggressive to strikes. Not aggressive to balls out of the zone so far early in counts.
Count now 2-1 here at Brennan. And the pitch on the way. Ground ball to the right side. Smothered by Clark. Throw to second for the force play. And that's the only out Tennessee will get. Does bring in Chalowski. And now a 7-run lead for the Bruins.
They're going to call the runner at first base out as well. They're going to call an automatic double play.
Now the UCLA base runners haven't gone to the dugout yet.
I don't know if they're trying to get a review of it. I don't know what they're going to review. I don't know if they're calling it a slide rule, which is at second base, is going to be my guess. Either way, the inning is over.
It is, and no run score, so that run will not count. And this will be 11-5, a 6-run lead for the Bruins as they call the out there at second.
Yep, did not get down and slide. That is the correct call.
All weekend long, Shriners Children's is challenging fans to see which team can raise the most money to help improve the lives of children around the world. Donations of any amount help Shriners Children's empower the extraordinary. Donations of $100 or more earn an exclusive Shriners Children's t-shirt. To move your team up in the fundraising leaderboard, scan the QR code on your screen or visit ShrinersShowdown.org to donate and support Shriners Children's today. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Tennessee batting here And a new pitcher to the game for UCLA. Jack O'Connor getting the 1 inning of relief. First pitch of the inning is in there for a strike. In now for the Bruins. It is Eli Iwanahug facing Reese Chapman. Eli Iwanahug, I beg your pardon. He's the 5th pitcher UCLA has used today. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Chapman.
One of the things about the UCLA guys, it's been a John Savage staple for years, or trademark, is breaker command, whichever it might be for you. Curveball, slider, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever fits your arm slot and or abilities. He's always been able to teach the guys to be able to repeat those breakers. And if you watch a lot of their patterns, if they miss with the breaker in the count, they come right back to it.
Swing and a miss. Iwanahug strikes him out, and 1 down here in the 8th.
We're going to get another look right here. He went back-to-back breakers. Actually, he went back-to-back breakers, but this one, it's got a lot of vertical action. That thing starts in the hitting area. For those hitters, they recognize it in the strike zone and then just disappears from them.
Now Blaine Brown. Nobody on, 1 down. That pitch hit him.
That's our 3rd or 4th hit basket in the last 2 innings between both teams.
By the way, there's been some confusion as you look back at the hit by pitch here. So in the stadium, the scoreboard still reads 12-5. That ball hitting him on the top of the shoe. But the official stat keeper does have it as 11-5. And that gets away from Duggar. And Brown over to second base now for Tennessee.
I'd say the first 5 innings of this game was flying. And there has been a lot of action and reaction.
Myatt grounds that foul.
From about the 7th on, or the 6th on.
And the game got really intense in that 6th inning when Tennessee was mounting its comeback. Went into that inning down 5 runs, then scored 4, and Myatt had a clutch 2-run base hit. But since in UCLA, some separation here. On top by 6, and Tennessee down to its final 5 outs.
Yeah, and to clarify, the end of that inning was a non-slide rule. In other words, an automatic double play. The runner going from first to second didn't slide. And I personally think the runner thought that the ball was hit so far down the line to the first baseman that he thought the first baseman was just going to feed the pitcher cover and take the out at first base. But instead, he got up to his feet. Dove got up to his feet through the second base, made a great play, and the runner didn't slide, which instituted a double play.
And therefore, the run doesn't count. Myatt here draws a walk. So Brown hit by pitch. Myatt a free ticket to first base of his own. 2 on, 1 out in the 8th inning. And Iwanahug is meeting with Duggar now.
Well, you've got a 6-run lead. And you've got a team, you got an offense in Tennessee that if you give them opportunities, if you give them free bases, you're giving them hope and you're giving them opportunities. And you get the first out with a punch out, and then you go hit by pitch and walk. And each time you do that, and you give them +90 without getting up and out, reminding these guys, hey, we got a chance. Let's get back in there. Let's come up with a homer of our own or a double.
Skips into the dirt, blocked by Duggar. As Lawless bats here now for Tennessee.
And I think that's going to get a visit out of the dugout with that big of a miss. And not only a visit, we're going to see a change.
What a hug. Struck out Reese Chapman. Then command becoming an issue. Hitting a batter, walking another. A big miss here to Lawless. And UCLA will go to the bullpen again. At least it appears that way. Easton Hawk was starting to make his way onto the field for the Bruins. And now he will make the long jog out to the mound. 6-run game. Tennessee, though, with a couple of runners on here in the 8th inning. With a new pitcher coming in for the Bruins. Easton Hawk into the game now for UCLA. Eli Iwatahug for the Bruins, struggling a little bit here in the 8th inning, and so Coach John Savage turned it to Hawk. Small body of work this year. A year ago, though, Hawk emerged as UCLA's closer, 8 saves in his first year as a Bruin last year as a freshman pitcher. Across 24 innings, struck out 31 a season ago, and 26 appearances last year. Did not allow a run in 18 of them. Did pitch against the Aztecs in midweek loss earlier this week, after not pitching in the TCU series last weekend. 2 on, 1 out in the 8th of a 6-run game. The Stone Lawless bats here for Tennessee. That ball hit foul, and the count evens 1-1. Earlier today, Mississippi State 8-4 winners over Arizona State. And coming up later tonight, Texas A&M and Virginia Tech. Two balls and a strike. Missed there, 3-1. Saw the mound visit from Head coach John Savage, one of 6 coaches in college baseball history to have won a World Series, produced the first overall pick of the draft, Garrett Cole, in 2011, and coach at least one Golden Spikes winner. That was Trevor Bauer in 2011. There's a walk to load him up. And both bullpens here, Ty, laboring a bit late in the game.
You get a 6-run lead, it's a strike throwing contest, is what it is. If you're the team ahead, and nobody knows it any better than Coach Savage does and his pitchers. They know it too. It may be just an execution issue right now, or not having enough experience out there so far, or there's a number of things. But one thing about it, Tennessee's not chasing the ball out of the strike zone.
Now it's Manny Marin with the bases juice. First pitch, he takes a strike at his 0-1. Marin hitless today, 0 for 3. Hitting 8th in the order for Josh Elander. Swing and a miss, strike 2. The only other coaches to hit those 3 milestones. Former LSU great coach Skip Bertman, Jim Brock, we talked about earlier today at Arizona State, the great Augie Garrido at Cal State Fullerton in Texas, and current coaches Tim Corbin at Vandy and Jim Morris at Miami. That's the company John Savage is in.
Yeah, not bad company, by the way. Look, I get where this young man was able to come up with 8 saves a year ago. That slider, it's a hard spinning slider. And that was a waist slider, the one he threw there. And it's going to be hard to barrel up if he can get a little bit closer to the plate.
Swing and a miss. Came back with it again. Strikes him out. And there's 2 down.
Yeah, that thing is spinning as soon as it comes out of his hand, and spinning hard. Does a great job of attacking it. If you're sitting at home going, why would he chase that ball? That ball starts out probably in the strike zone to a hitter who's trying to protect now with 2 strikes. And that always gets that barrel moving a little bit more eagerly. We'll see if he's able to finish off the inning. But for the right-handed hitters, that slider's the pitch that you're going to have to try to deal with.
But now Hawk facing one of the hotter bats in the lineup today, Chris Newstrom. Last 2 at-bats, a homer and a triple. Looks at a strike here. This is Tennessee's window right now.
Yeah, and they've got the right guy in there. Heck, he's a double away from the cycle. Hitting in the 9-hole today for Tennessee. And obviously would give his team a chance if he comes up with another big hit.
Falls behind 0-2. You got to think he's burying one in the dirt right now, right, Ty?
Well, he's certainly going to try to waste one off the edge of the plate.
Just threw fastball to 96. What does he come back with here? Pitch off the plate, fastball again, 1-2.
Yeah, he went fastball the pitch before and got the call. It was an edge pitch. He did get the call, goes back to it. Oftentimes coaches will call that right after that fastball, thinking, well, he sees another one, he's going to have to chase it. Sometimes that'll be 4 or 5 inches off the plate.
Goes around and strikes him out. Hawk strikes out 2 with the bases loaded. And we go to the 9th. The lead still at 6 for UCLA. And we head to the 9th inning, 11-5. UCLA on top. Tennessee had a chance to maybe claw back into the game in the 8th. Bases loaded, 1 out. Could not cash in. Lead still at 6 as we start the top of the 9th. Amegy leading off for the Bruins. Facing off against Nick Abraham. It's every game of these broadcasts we have a player of the game, and I look at UCLA. There's a lot of candidates. We got 4 different guys who've gone deep. We look back at the starting pitching from Logan Reddeman, struck out 7.
Yep. Yeah, I mean there is a lot of choices. You start looking. Digging through all the way, particularly always, the pitching side of it too. Sometimes those guys get left off because they come out in the 6th inning. They've only worked 6 innings, for crying out loud, right? 90 pitches and thrown against one of the best offenses.
That's provided, by the way. I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's provided UCLA holds on.
That's correct. That's correct. Crazier things in this game. Let me tell you, college baseball is what makes it so incredible and fun to be around. Is you don't know, metal bats and 19-year-old, 20-year-old guys, and some really fun things can happen.
Full count to Aguayo. He fights it off. Well, over the course of your career, coaching thousands of games as a player, as a broadcaster, you have seen some wild 9th innings.
I have. Again, I always believe that the 9th inning's a game in itself.
As the saying goes, there's no harder out in the game to get than number 27. As Aguayo draws a leadoff walk. He'll start the 9th for UCLA.
His 4th time to be on base today as well.
2 walks, couple of infield base hits, and 2 runs scored. And Cashel Duggar comes up now for the Bruins. Has driven in 2 runs today for UCLA. On the ground to the right side, 4, 6, 3. Newstrom to Marin to Clark on a twin killing. And now 2 outs with the bases empty.
Double play, pitcher's best friend. Particularly one that's turned clean. Got a shift on 2, which makes it a little bit different for the shortstop. He comes from a deeper angle. And you got to practice your feed from the second base for that, because he's not coming at you chest-wise. He comes from deep middle behind the bag, and it changes your feed and a little bit of his pivot, which obviously you can tell they've spent plenty of time on it.
Offensive timeout call by UCLA with Will Gasparino coming up now for the Bruins. Did a solo homer as part of that 6-run 7th for the Bruins, and it came after Tennessee put up a big inning of its own in the 6th. Nobody on, 2 down for Gasparino. And facing Abraham, threw behind him.
I think it was a breaker too that went behind him. It's hard to throw a breaker behind a right-handed hitter if you're the right-handed pitcher. That thing's supposed to be breaking back to the left.
That ball drilled deep left center. Second time today. Will Gasparino. 12-5 Bruins.
That's 2 swings from this young man today where he gets his barrel completely extended, showing off his power. This one 430 feet off the bat. Pull side or pull side gap, ball in the middle of the plate, showing a little flexibility in his lower half right here to get down there to get after it with that barrel. From a tall guy, that's hard to do every once in a while, to reach those balls down around the knees for his second homer on the two different sides of the field into the gap to the deep part. And that one hit at the top of the second deck here at Globe Life.
And yet another two-out home run for UCLA. Aiden Espinoza, pinch hitter, up now for the Bruins in the DH spot in place of Dominic Cadiz. Sharply hit foul, runs the count 0-2. And the Bruins in year 2 in the Big Ten, they'll make some long road trips this year as well. In conference play, have to go to Iowa, Rutgers, and Michigan State among those long trips.
I kind of want to add what time of year is that?
All right.
Because it's going to be a little frosty.
All right.
Possibly.
All right. Iowa, late March.
Okay.
Rutgers, mid-April. Michigan State, early May. Should be okay.
Yep.
Base hit off the middle. Off the bat of Espinoza. Bruins have been absolutely outstanding with 2 outs of the game. They are 9 for 17 in 2 outs. As inning extends to the top of the order now for the Bruins.
That's over 500, obviously. 2 outs today.
It's where the game's been won.
Yeah, 100% it has.
Assuming the final 3 outs are recorded by the Bruins.
To this point, the game has been won on 2 outs.
West drills one to right field. It'll hang in the air, though, long enough for Chapman to come in and make the catch in the inning. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. Tennessee down to his final 3 outs, trailing by 7 against top-ranked UCLA. One more game to go after this one wraps up. The third and final game with a triple header features Virginia Tech against Texas A&M. Scheduled for a 7 o'clock start. Going to be pushed back, though, as we've hit now 6:15 Central here at Globe Life Field. And 3 outs to go. 12-5 UCLA on top of Tennessee as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Coming up the top of the order for the Vols here in the 9th. Jay Abernathy leads things off here against Hawk. Here's first pitch, lands in there for a strike. Easton Hawk came in place of Eli Iwanahug in the 8th. Got out of a jam, struck out the final 2 batters with the bases full. 0-2 to Abernathy.
If you're UCLA, that's part of trying to close this out, and that is the strike zone. Being able to attack the strike zone, get ahead of the hitters, and to be able to use your waste pitch, which is his slider. It's really hard to pick up, and has been particularly on the right-handed hitters.
(0-2) on the way. A spoiled foul there by Abernathy. Sophomore from Ackworth, Georgia. Getting lead off again for the Volunteers. Got a piece of that. Able to stay alive in his second year with his Falls program. Abernathy's a freshman at 282 last year. Started in 27 games. And looks at ball 1. Volunteers won the Knoxville Regional last year, lost to the Supers to Arkansas. Swing and a miss. Got him on the breaking ball, and now 3 straight strikeouts for Easton Hawk.
A little rough or rusty, however you want to say, when he got into the game with his command. But since, he's brought that slider into play. Occasional fastball, but this time a backdoor slider at 81 miles an hour to the left-handed hitting Abernathy, and he gets him to swing through it.
1 down to the 9th, and now Henry Ford. It's a ball and a strike. Fastball there, 94 from Hawk. Exciting regional last year in Knoxville. Tennessee won the first 2 games, but then Wake Forest beat them to force a winner-take-all, and the Volunteers beat the Demon Deacons to win that regional 11-5. By the way, it is now strike 1 of that pitch from Hawk to run the count to 3-1. It's a 1-out walk to Ford. He's on base for the 2nd time today. And that'll bring up Levi Clark.
I'm going to assume, and yeah, I'm starting to see it now, UCLA's going to play behind the runner at first base. They're chasing outs in coverage right now, meaning they're trying to cover as much ground as they can. Not terribly worried about the runner at first base.
No balls and a strike to Clark. On the ground, left side of the infield, goes off the backhanded attempt of Aguayo. Ricochets again, and both runners are safe.
Yeah, that's a a confusing part of the shift. This is where it becomes about communication. The second baseman comes in on this ball and not in a good hop position. He gets an in-between hop, whereas the shortstop behind him, Brant, would have gotten a little more gifting or forgiving hop.
Scores an E4 against Aguayo. And now 2 on, 1 out. Reese Chapman coming up for Tennessee. First pitch of the at-bat, right down the middle for a strike. There were several entertaining supers last year. Arizona in a 3-gamer beat North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Oregon State, Florida State also played in a 3-game Super Regional Series, won by the Beavers. They made their return trip to Omaha last year. Oh-2 on the way. That's in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes in an all-ACC matchup. Louisville beat Miami. We saw Dan McDonald's Cards here last year. UCLA hosted UTSA in the Supers last season and beat the Roadrunners at a 2-game sweep. And did he offer? He did. Says Matt McKendry at third. 2 outs.
Already talked about this probably too many times. This slider is really wicked. The depth of it, the sharpness of the break, and the lateness of it really creates havoc for those hitters in their barrels. And being able to recognize it in time that it's not going to be in the strike zone.
Blaine Brown with the Vols down to their final out. Pops him up into rights. Brennan. And UCLA takes the first game of the weekend. The Bruins knock off Tennessee behind a bevy of 2-out hits. They beat the Vols 12-5.
On an up-and-down game, UCLA jumps out at the beginning, takes control of the game, or at least the lead, and appears to be in control. And then Tennessee comes marching back, gets within 1, and as soon as they do, UCLA decides that offensively they're going to use that batting order with so much depth and power, and they extend their lead and don't look back.
And the Bruins win it 12-5. Coming up next, we'll hear from our player of the game, Will Gasparino. Back after this on FloCollege. And welcome back to Arlington. UCLA wins 12-5 over Tennessee. And now down to the field, Harper Zimmerman, joined by today's player of the game, Will Gasparino. And Harper will have Will here in just a moment today. Will Gasparino, 2 homers for the Bruins, a couple of solo shots as UCLA ripped out 5 home runs today in their win over Tennessee. And with the victory, the Bruins 7-2 in the season, while the Vols dropped to 6-3. Now down to Harper with Will Gasparino.
Will, you now lead the nation in home runs with 8 home runs, and this is your 3rd multi-run game. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel great. From the beginning of the season to as of now, I feel great, and I'm seeing the ball great.
The team exploded in the 7th inning with 6 runs. What was the energy like during that rally?
Oh, it's electric. When hitters 1 through 9 are seeing the ball well and having good at-bats, it's so fun.
Everyone in the lineup today scored or drove a hit in. What does that talk about? What does that show about your lineup?
I think it shows how deep we are. Hitters 1 through 9, it doesn't matter where you are in the lineup. You're facing the rock or me in the 8-hole, and everyone can do damage.
Absolutely. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Harper. Will Gasparino, our player of the game, hitting a couple of home runs today for UCLA. The Bruins, one of the top home run hitting teams in the country, coming in and showed off their power again here this afternoon. Well, that's going to wrap up our coverage of Game 2 of our triple-header. Coming up next, the nightcap. Virginia Tech against 23rd ranked Texas A&M. Myself alongside Greg Swindell have a call for you here on FloCollege. Final score in this one again, Bruins 12, Volunteers 5. On behalf of our producer Philip Hotboy and my broadcast partner Ty Harrington, I'm Brent Freeman saying so long for now from Globe Life Field. UCLA a winner over number 20, Tennessee.